All right. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hopefully well. We're back. And today, we're doing Yakuza 2. We're gonna finish the batting cages. Entirely. Maybe. Maybe. No promises. The baseball game's got a real heavy main theme. It does. It does. Especially for baseball. But, you know, I guess Japan really likes their baseball. And I've seen clips go around of, like, sport animes where they are choreographed like it's a fucking, like, action shonen. I've seen what those can look like. So it kind of makes sense, right? Kinda. I think. I'm a little out of breath. I had to run up and down the stairs like 3 times just before sitting down. So I'm a little trying to keep it quiet over here. I'm so ready. I'm gonna destroy these batting cages. The term receive you refers to getting hit by the ball. Yes, that's why it's Majima's theme in Yakuza 1, yeah. Yes. I love that the Yakuza 1 theme just kind of became Majima's theme simply because they also played a remix of it during his boss fight in the first game. So now they do a new rendition of the Yakuza 1 theme like every fucking game that Majima's in.
Nano Machine, son.
I don't have my notes open.
I'm an adult woman. I have said some freaky shit in my day.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I've got the notes. Let's see if I still got it. I still got it. Of course I still got it. Fuck.
Nano Machine, son.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Son of a bitch. I was looking at the wrong one. I just gotta get warmed up. Back to Baseball Simulator. Mm-hmm. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. I saw this morning that someone described the Yakuza series as something bad happens in Tokyo. Kiryu decides to involve himself somehow, even if he doesn't really need to be involved. He'll just kind of butt into it. And he'll solve whatever problem is going on by beating the shit out of like 50,000 dudes, while also going around and being an absolute baller, playing absolutely perfectly in every single game around town, and also solving every civilian's problem. And that's a very accurate description of the Yakuza games, actually. I have to say, that might be the most accurate description that I've seen so far for this series. Wait for Kenzan? Yeah, we have to play Kenzan entirely in Japanese, which is fine. I've done it once. I'll do it again. I guess I kind of did it twice because I did it with Ishin too. I'm excited for Ishin Kiwami, weirdly. Even though it's supposedly way grindier than it has any right to be, and Ishin was already really grindy. I feel like playing OG Ishin will make it more of an experience. Oh, I was early on that? Son of a bitch. And late on that. I think I've got a pretty nice rhythm going already. Okay, never mind. I don't. I take it back. Slow one. The two slow ones are the ones that really fuck with me now. And a lob. The man who is like a dragon has arrived in Japanese. Unfortunately, they don't say something that on the nose. I would love if they did. It would be so good if they did. Just so perfectly stupid. Unfortunately not. But hey, if you can't understand the cutscenes, you can just imagine that that's what he's saying, right? Doesn't matter. You just get to make your own dialogue. I already got back to a 17. I'm just saying. Things are looking up. I think there was a Like a Dragon reference in Zero. If there was, it was in like a side story or something, because I didn't see it. As close as it gets is just the honestly really stupid Dragon of Dojima thing in the final boss. Like, that being where he got the title from, to me, is so silly. Like, genuinely just so silly. Almost as silly as the Amazon series. With him saying, I want to be the Dragon of Dojima. Almost as silly. Fuck. I knew it was coming too, the slow one. Oh, the main theme of Zero. The Japanese theme that doesn't play. I'm assuming is what we're talking about. Says Ryuga Gotoku. Well, I'm assuming that's just because that's the name over there. I was thinking like a dialogue reference or something. I don't want to watch the Yakuza movies. I've seen the one thing of the baseball on Majima's head in the movie, and that's great. And I feel like that's probably the best part of it. We never even see him get it. That's the thing, too. He just beats the shit out of a guy who's calling it that. Or, sorry, who's calling himself that. And then he doesn't even, like, take the title himself or really want it. But then we just get to Yakuza 1 and everyone is calling him that. Because, like, even in the time skip at the end of Zero, like the little time skip that they do near the end, even in that scene, no one refers to him as the Dragon of Dojima there. I just don't get it. It's really silly to me. I gotta get this going. Hold on. I got this. Speaking of Yakuza 0, though, I got a comment this morning telling me that I'm a grown-ass man and that I need to stop using terms like peak. I will not stop using terms like peak. Because I'm 23 years old. Using Gen Z slang is actually very appropriate for my age. Peak comment. If I was an ass, I would reply that. That's so funny. 23-year-old unk. Stop using Gen Z slang. I know, I know. They probably just think I'm older than I am, to be fair. Most people do. So I could see it maybe being a bit jarring if you think that I'm a good few years older than I am. Was that 17? At least if I hit 15 or more, I get the plate. So I make money. When does one reach Unk status? One reaches Unk status whenever in their life that they do, really. Unk is not age. Unk is in the soul. In the heart. Come on. Fuck. I'll play her out. Mike is just really fun to say. It is. The slow ones, man. Shit. Oh, I thought I read the fast one, my bad. I had an online friend confuse me for being 17 when I was like 13. I just, in general, have always looked older. My one funny thing, though, doing the videos on YouTube where my face just isn't in them, outside of, like, rare exceptions, is my voice tends to make people think that I'm younger than I am, which is very funny. Because I'm so used to everyone thinking that I'm older. My beard is a little itchy. I probably need to trim it. It's been a couple days. Do you think Oda was gay for Tachibana? Yes. Absolutely yes. Not even, like, questionable. Yes. I think you were in your early 20s? Yeah. I feel like my voice is the giveaway. To be fair, it used to be deeper before I really hurt my voice. But that was before I started consistently doing YouTube. There are like old Twitch clips of me before I hurt my voice. but no YouTube videos, to my knowledge. Before heavy metal. No, during. But, before I tore a vocal cord. I have exciting news. What are the exciting news? What is? Grammar is hard. I write like 10,000 words a week at least, by the way. But what? What's the exciting news? You'd think my grammar would be better. To be fair, English grammar fucking sucks. Oh, that one's faster than I think. The 5th one. Ah, shit. I got Outbreak working on my actual PS2. Oh, you got connected on the PS2. Are you soft modded on your PS2? I don't even have to ask that, do I? You are kind of the guy that brings up soft modding. I am? I thought so. I said that, and then I was like, of course he is. What am I talking about? Oh, early. I thought that one was fast. I'm just getting my groove back. This one's slow. If you want to use the English patch, yeah. Did you recognize any of the actors in Yakuza 0? They got a bunch of famous Yakuza film stars. All the main villains, basically. No, I'm not, what's it? I'm not too engaged with Japanese media outside of video games. Like, even, like, anime comes up here and there, and I can generally talk about anime, but even that I haven't watched a ton of over the years. Pretty much just games in that sense. Not really much anime or movies. I did know Akiyama's voice actor from Cowboy Bebop, though. That I did know. But it's stuff like that with anime for me, where it's like the super mainstream shit, like Cowboy Bebop. I've seen that. Holy shit, this might be my worst one of the day. My batting cage ASMR content, I know. It's glorious. Shinada's voice... You're lying to me. No. Shinada is not Sephiroth. If it was anyone else, I would be like, oh, okay. But Shinada? That can't be Sephiroth.
So many erections!
Message of the day said not to use turbo key, even though I'm on a PS2. Yeah, it's just because most people don't soft mod. Most people will opt for emulation over soft modding. Like, almost everyone on those servers are on emulator. He's also Leon? In what? Because they change Leon's voice actor, like, all the time. Like, what games is he Leon in? Or even it might just be one game. Thinking if he was working in games just generally around that time frame, then maybe like RE6 Leon. Just getting that consistency built in. Also getting some plates and scarves farmed up so that I can get some of my money back once we're done here. I can sell them all off for a big chunk of yen back in my pocket. Okay, slow one incoming. I could have gotten 19 there. He was Dante in 3 in the rest of the games. So Shinada's voice actor is in a fuck ton. Particularly with Capcom. Oh, okay, here we go. Is that Shinada? Oh. He's Leon in Remake. Okay. They actually, funny enough, they don't have Shinada on here as one of his roles. But looking at it, it's because he's in so much other stuff that's more high profile than Yakuza. Especially at the time. Like, Yakuza 5 wasn't really... The series was popular in Japan, not worldwide. And hadn't had its big explosion post Yakuza 0 yet. But he's in so much. Berserk 97, Naruto, One Piece, DMC, Final Fantasy, Black Lagoon. He's in Naruto twice, actually. Bleach. What else do I know on here? Bleach twice as well. One Punch Man. Resident Evil. He's in a shit ton. A whole lot of other stuff there that I just don't know. Mostly anime roles. Who does he play in Bleach? Hold on. He plays... I've never seen Bleach, so... Ishin and Kaname. Nick? No, Japanese voice actor. Nick is great, though. Fuck. God damn it. Get my consistency back. Really get this rhythm going. Slow one. Ooh, yeah. Fitting seeing the minigame you're currently doing. Yep. Shinada would be shitting his pants right now. Oh, that one's a little slower. Okay. A little slower than that. Slow one. Oh yeah, we're fucking ripping dingers, bud. Don't you know it? I did talk like that in high school, for the record. That was like, unironically, I had such a bad accent. It's because I hung out with a ton of the hockey guys, and I'm from Minnesota, so I did actually talk like that in high school, genuinely. It comes naturally to me. Because I lived it for years. Fuck. Damn it. I shook the accent living in Florida. Because I moved to Florida, and literally the day after I moved in, I went like across the street to a Wawa to pick up some food and fill up on gas and everything. And the cashier at the Wawa asked me where I'm from. Like, just... They just heard my voice and asked me where I was from, and I was like, oh. Is it that obvious? I play hockey, so I get it. My best friend's from Green Bay. Oh, yeah. Shittier Minneapolis. Am I right? Don't tell him I said that. Actually, tell him I said that. It's nothing like Minneapolis. It's just the closest thing Wisconsin has. They are so different. Agreed? Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Like midway through Act 2 on Gears 3 Solo Insane. Gears 3 Insane, from what I remember, is such a pain in the ass. I'll tell him I hate Green Bay. All right, I'll take it. This is a win for me. Sure is. There's just so much bullshit in Gears 3's campaign. Like, even so much like one-shot bullshit on hardcore. Because when I played it with False, we thought it was really funny that generally Gears 3 is so much easier than Gears 1 and 2 on the hardcore difficulty. So we were like breezing through it, but then they just randomly throw shit at you that one-shots you. And you're just like, oh, where did this come from? And then it's gone, and it's easy for a bit again, and then they throw another random one-shot at you. And it's just on and off again the whole time. So I'm sure on Insane, where there would be even more one-shots, like things that would just be near death on hardcore, also become one-shot. I look away for a second. It's gotta be awful. Those little flying guys. Oh, fuck those guys. Screechers, right? Fuck those guys. Late. Early. Classic. ODST in the new trailer? I did see that. I did hear the ODST theme in the trailer. I saw that going around. Imagine if 5 years ago, okay? Stick with me, chat. Imagine if 5 years ago, you told us that there would be a PlayStation exclusive game that a year later would release on Xbox, and not only just release on Xbox, but have a Halo crossover event around the time of that release on Xbox. We would have all thought that you're fucking crazy. We would have thought you were out of your mind. But here we are. Here we are. The year of our Lord, 2025. The console wars are dying. Peace is being restored to all gamers. Except for the Nintendo kids, but we don't talk about that. They still think the console wars are going. Just let them have it. It's all they've got at this point. Slow. Oh yeah, also the same day an Xbox exclusive releases day one on PS5. Yes, you're right. PC Master Race won the console war. Outside of component pricing, PC really did win out. Now that it's all said and done, we did just end up getting everyone's games on PC other than Nintendo's. And like all the normal PC benefits are still the same benefits. And like even though chip pricing is ridiculous right now, like building the PC was always more expensive, so that was kind of just an expected part to begin with. PC really did win out, like, in the whole thing. PC got the best of all of it. They're re-releasing Nintendo 64 with 4K support? What? I haven't heard about this. Is it just their emulator, or are they doing like a throwback system? News. Not quite. There's a third party like retro throwback console releasing called the M64 that will play N64 games at 4K. Yeah, it's an unofficial one. I've seen the third party. Yeah, that's that news. Nintendo will eventually release their stuff on Sony and Microsoft. They'll just be late. I think that's true. Nintendo is just always like 5 to 10 years late on stuff like that. I would say on this one, because they have their own ecosystem so heavily locked down, I would lean more towards the 10 years. Because right now, they don't really have a reason to do it. They're making bank off of Switch 2 units and just digital platform sales currently. So I think it'll be longer, but eventually I think it will. At some point, Nintendo's gonna fuck up and they're gonna start falling behind and they'll need that cash injection to kind of get back in the game, and that's probably when that will happen. Fuck. It's from Analog. I didn't look at that. I just kind of glanced and then closed it, to be real. Another Wii U moment. Yeah, exactly. Like, they'll have another one of those, and then they'll just need the money, and they'll start selling games on other systems, I bet. But for right now, like, they're way too, successful with their current model to even consider branching out of it. Fuck. Have you seen their share prices? I haven't, actually. I don't invest in Nintendo or really any gaming companies, to be real with you, which might be insane coming from me, but I really don't invest in gaming companies. What is their ticker? Oh, there we go. I thought so. Today, they're down a bit. I don't know why they're dropping today, but over the last like 3 months, they're up 20%. Over the last year, they're up 82%. When did that first spike happen? Last November was the first big jump. What happened last November with Nintendo? I'm trying to think. I really don't know what would have caused the November spike. Because the spike, like, early this year into just the current trend going upwards pretty steadily is obviously the Switch 2 and the financial success of that launch. When did they announce Switch 2? I think it was January, right? That they... Oh, did they announce it in November? Hold on. Hold on, I'm just gonna go Nintendo Switch 2, go to Wikipedia. They probably have that all listed out. Development. And if I skim through here a little bit... No, they did reveal it in January. I thought it was January, but then I was like, maybe it was last November. No, they revealed it in January. And January is where you see a gigantic spike that leads into what it's doing right now. But there was a spike in November, like a big one. Hold on, how big was that? They went from 1330 to 1550 in November in the span of like 2 weeks. Man, I'm doing great today, by the way. I haven't, like, whoa. I haven't been looking at the market at all today. I've been busy this morning. I'm having a great day. Damn. Sorry. We take those. I don't have my notes open. I was distracted opening other things. Yakuza Kiwami happened. Oh, that's a fast one. This is what I get for not looking at my notes one time. This one is just devious with the switch-ups. There's a reason we wrote these things out. I do want to look at Konami's share price. You have me curious now. Actually, I don't know if I want to get into that right now. You guys, Delta is in like 2 weeks. I need to be on my good behavior with Konami, okay? I don't know if I want to start Konami blasting right now. Delta is 2 weeks away. I don't know if now is the time. Now might not be the time. You want to check it? Trust me. Well, it is public info, right? Right, Konami? No one cares about me just talking about something that's already plenty public, right? Let me check my email before I... Okay, yeah, let me look. Let me look. People said it runs like a dream. We don't know that. We don't know that. You stop that. What's their stock ticker? I'm not getting any hits when I just search Konami. Normally it would oh my god. Why did these... I swear every Japanese company has the most wild stock ticker ever. Why is that? Or are they not? They're not traded over here. Okay. What? No wonder I can't find them on my phone. They're not traded over here. You can't trade Konami on the US stock market. Konami is up 123% in the last year. What the fuck? I was expecting not that. What? Bro, I wish I could trade them. Maybe I do need to trade some game companies. What do their dividends look like? Because I've gotten to the point where I personally, this is not financial advice, by the way, but I don't invest in anything anymore that doesn't pay me a dividend. I just purely on principle, I don't. I've stopped. How do they pay their investors? Do they pay their investors? You should invest in Take-Two. They pay their investors. I'm part of the problem. I sit here and I talk about, you know, shareholders and investors wanting a bigger cut. You know, the bottom line must be preserved at all costs. And then I get on stream and I'm like, I personally don't invest in anything that's not going to pay me back for holding any of it. I am part of the problem. But to be fair, it's just because I feel like anything that pays me a dividend, like any company that's confident enough to pay me as I hold it, is like, yeah, if I put money into them, then they give me some back periodically, right? It feels like I'm actually buying into part of the business as opposed to just speculating and gambling on whether they will go up or down. I've just gotten to the point where I only invest in stuff that's actually going to pay me back as I hold it. Because otherwise it feels like I'm just gambling. I did it for so long. Took a lot of wins, took a lot of losses, and now I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. You've definitely invested in Nvidia? Hey. Hey, we don't do financial advice here. We don't. But Nvidia? Maybe. Maybe a little Nvidia. A little bit. Games Workshop do dividends? Do they really? I don't know if I have access to... Hold on, do I? What is their ticker, first of all? Because that'll make this easier. Okay. GMWKF. Again, what the fuck? GMWKF. No, I can't trade them over here. At least not with what I've got. They're doing pretty nice, though. Do they pay dividends? Their dividend yield is just showing as blank on the Google one, but the Google one could just not have that data. Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. What is their yield? A 2.4 is pretty respectable. Yeah, Google just doesn't have it. I don't know why. Which one am I on? I missed the first one. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't even need a good dividend yield. I just need something. Like something. I need a little bit of pay for buying into a company. Because at this point, I feel like I'm just gambling otherwise. Google is garbage. Their stock? Google's stock has been pretty good. Because they've been pushing the AI thing so much and most people don't know any better. The search engine. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm on stocks. I was like, Google stock's been great. Google and Microsoft have both been killing it. Mostly because of the AI stuff on the market. She says the batting impact noise and the jingle at the range are driving her into a rage. I don't know what you're talking about. Same with Nvidia. Yeah, it's the same reason Nvidia's doing great. Amazon and Meta. Meta, I have no clue. Amazon's been fine. A tech company that's been doing really well on the market, even though they are not pushing AI aggressively, is Apple. Apple has been really, really good recently as well. Tim Apple. It's true. How many are we averaging? Like 17, 18? Probably to the point where I should just start going for perfection. I feel like I'm consistent enough. I'm sure an American can invest in the UK. Probably. It might just be the account that I have. The brokerage that I go through. Fuck. Need that save state at the start. I don't think it's that bad yet. We'll see. Maybe. How could she not like the jingle for the home run? It brings me joy every time. I think it's a great sound. People have literally been referring to these as batting cage ASMR streams. She came into the room from the other room. That makes it even funnier to imagine. From the other room. Have they really? Yeah. Fuck. Damn it. From the other floor? How loud do you have it? Did you hear about the guy who spent $32K in NBA? No. Okay. Surprise mechanics. Look, chat. I'm opening this discussion back up because I kind of like loot boxes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just hate the gambling aspect when you can purchase loot boxes. Like, that sucks, but loot boxes themselves are kind of fun. I get a very mixed response on this every time. But like a good loot box system is fun. Like the old Overwatch one where you couldn't pay for them and everything was free. It was genuinely just, sometimes you'd open a loot box, it would be nothing. Sometimes it would be something really fucking dope. And it was all free in Overwatch. You just got them from playing, right? The predatory cost, right. Call of Duty actually had a great loot box system for a bit. The original one the original two in Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 were awful. And you could always pay for the COD ones, which I never liked. But they were very, like, I guess, player-friendly, even if you didn't pay for them, starting with like Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered, because they did this thing where like every big item that you'd actually want, like new guns, legendary skins, whatever the fuck, right? All of that stuff would have like a collection system where if you got a bunch of smaller items that weren't super worthwhile on their own, then once you collected all of them, you'd get the big item. And what they also did was they added in a new like salvage currency that you would get instead of just getting a duplicate. Like if you got a duplicate, it would turn into salvage based on how rare that duplicate was. Like the amount would vary, right? And then with the salvage, you could go in and just craft any of those items that you wanted. You could just make yourself the exact thing you want. So over time, like as you open more loot boxes and you get more duplicates, you just have more ability to make exactly what you want with the system. And they dropped very regularly for free as well. Like you didn't have to play hundreds and hundreds of hours to get a loot box or anything. They just would drop after like a couple matches. You'd get one, I think. I don't really remember exactly how often. But a couple matches of COD multiplayer. So like every 20, maybe 30 minutes, you'd get one. World War II and IW had the best supply drop system. It was the exact same one that was in... Well, IW's was different, but World War II's system was the exact same as the Modern Warfare Remastered one. Unless they changed it down the line, but at launch it was the exact same. I didn't play the game the whole year, so maybe they did change it down the line. World War II was a kind of boring COD. Like, not a bad one, just one that I played for like a month and enjoyed. But then once that month was over, I never really went back to it much over the rest of the year. Speaking of COD, I beat the new Easter egg last night. And I take back what I said about it being kind of mid, because the whole boss fight sequence and the ending was crazy. It was great. Loved it. Redeemed the whole thing. Redeemed the whole thing for me. This is PCSX2, yeah. Just easier to capture than using an actual PS2 with like a converter and a capture card and all that. People are speculating that MW3 remastered, campaign remastered, might come out with BO7 because of Battlefield. I don't think so. Maybe. I think this is probably the first time that there's even some sort of threat that might push them into releasing that. But I wouldn't bet on it. Hot sauce out here with the setup? No. Bro, even Elgato has too much finicky bullshit that I just don't want to deal with. Like, to deal with it when I need it on occasion, sure. Like, if I'm using it like once or twice a week, yeah, that's fine. But using it every single day? Fuck no. That sounds awful. No. I got this one. Check it out. Shit. XR1 Lite? I would rather use Elgato still. It's already ready so they can do it. Yeah. I don't know. We are gonna see Black Ops 7 like gameplay really soon, apparently. What was the date? It's happening this month, but it's in the 20-something. We're gonna actually see the game for the first time. The game that comes out in like probably November. So I am still very skeptical and worried, but at least we're gonna finally see it. Because fuck, man. What is happening? It is August 12th as of streaming this right now for my VOD watchers, my VOD frogs. Where is Black Ops 7? Where is it? Sad seeing the direction COD has taken, but it is what it is. I mean, that's the thing, though. It hasn't necessarily gotten a more positive reception because we haven't even seen the new COD yet. Like, we haven't even seen anything about it. We got, like, basically a glorified title announcement, and that's it. And that was early June. It's been, like, 2 months since we got that. It's wild. 19th of August. Okay, I thought it was later. So it's a week from today. We're looking at another MW3 2023 situation. True, but assuming that's the case, MW3 2023 was great. The thing that doesn't get talked about a lot was that everyone, when we first saw the game, was like, oh, this is the same game. But then when the game came out, it was very similar. It was obviously built off of the framework of MW2 2022, but like, it was so different. And we just didn't know before it came out how different it was. It was so much faster. The perk system was fixed. The score streak system was fixed. Some of the gunsmith problems were remedied, but they were still pretty bad. Maps were so much better. Gameplay pacing and movement was so much better. What MW3 2023 ended up being was just MW2, but way more enjoyable. And the people who were there playing MW3, like, you go ask anyone who played both during both of those games' years, no one is going to tell you that they liked MW2 more. Like, genuinely, no one who played both games will tell you they liked MW2 more. And so it ended up being a really weird situation because everyone on the outside of the COD space just saw that and was like, what the fuck is Call of Duty doing? This is a disaster. But then all the COD guys who were actually playing the game were like, oh my god, this is just the game that we wanted to get last year. Like, the game that we were thinking we were gonna get, but that ended up being way worse than we thought. This is that. This is the good one. The good version. And the COD fandom actually loved MW3. Granted, the old school guys still hated it. Like, the guys who just hate all of the Warzone era stuff still didn't like it, but of course they did. Frankly, until the Warzone era shit goes away, they just won't like any of them. They just won't. But no, like, generally speaking, it was received really well within the fandom, aside from the campaign. That was the thing that we were like, what the fuck was this? But even the MW3 Zombies mode, everyone prior to release, including me, was looking at it and we were like, Warzone Zombies extraction shooter. What kind of slop are they throwing at me right now? Like, this is some horse shit. But then we got it. And even, like, the old school Zombies fans, like Milo, Mr. Raffle Waffles, that is, played it on day one and we're like, wait a minute. Why is this fun? And I did too. I thought it was going to be a disaster. I streamed it on day one and I was just like, you guys, I'm having fun. I shouldn't be having fun, but I'm having fun. With the fucking Zombies extraction shooter. Because it was surprisingly good. MW3 multiplayer, specifically, because Zombies was an entirely different story. But MW3 multiplayer also got, like, next level continuous support throughout the year. Genuinely, probably the best, or, like, runner-up for the best, like, live service support that Call of Duty has ever gotten throughout its year. It was so just constant new stuff, like high quality new stuff, weapons, good maps, all sorts of shit. MW3 was actually a really good year. Is the best new COD. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 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 Hold on now. I have to stew on that. I disagree. However, comma, if you are a multiplayer guy, I think that is absolutely true. I am a predominantly zombies guy who also enjoys multiplayer, and I do play the campaigns every year. I do like one playthrough of the campaign at launch basically, and then that's it, but I do play them every year. So I kind of factor that in to a very, very minor degree. MW3, I would say, is probably it's probably my third favorite Warzone era COD. Third favorite. Cold War would be my number 2, and BO6 would actually be my favorite. And I can pretty much confidently lock that in. Because the last big season of content just dropped a little under a week ago. There will still be like a mid-season update with a bunch of new stuff, but basically BO6 is at its final stretch right now. Like, it's just kind of wrapping up. So I can pretty confidently say that. What's your least favorite COD? Ooh. That's a hard one to answer. My least favorite, like, overall, I want to give knee-jerk answers. Like I want to blurt out, like, MW2 2022 comes to mind really quickly. Ghosts come to mind. It probably is Ghosts, actually. Yeah, it's Ghosts. Extinction's fun. Is there a COD game where I don't like anything? Like, there's just no piece of content in the game that I enjoy? No, there's not. I don't think. For me, it's Black Ops 4. I enjoyed Black Ops 4. Not my favorite, but like, I thought the multiplayer was fun. I thought Blackout was actually a lot of fun. And the zombies was solid. Not my favorite, but solid. I liked Black Ops 4. I didn't love it. I liked it. So I can't say it was Black Ops 4. Ghosts, maybe. Because campaign was doo-doo. Multiplayer was doo-doo. Extinction was kind of okay. I liked Extinction. Oh, my least favorite is Call of Duty 3. That's not a fun answer because I bet you no one's played it. But Call of Duty 3 is my least favorite. Campaign's not very good, and the multiplayer isn't either. And there's no third mode. That was before they did third game modes. Post COD 4, though, like the games that people have actually played, it's probably Ghosts or MW19 or MW2 2022. Although MW19, even that one, like, I would have to say that Warzone is part of that game, genuinely, because originally it was. Before they split it off into being its own thing, it was part of MW19. And Warzone redeems it for me. Warzone was absolutely the best part of that year. Like, launch state, Call of Duty Warzone during COVID lockdown was like actually magical. You had to be there, sort of thing. Like, if you were there playing Warzone right when it came out, like with buddies during lockdown, it genuinely was one of those like magical gaming things that you just had to be there for to understand. It really was. 15. I got to 15 perfectly. What did I think of Infinite Warfare? Banger campaign. Such a good campaign. Like, genuinely incredible campaign. One of the best from Call of Duty ever. Hands down. Which brings it up a bit. Because even though campaign is that thing that you only play once, it is like the really high budget showcase of the game and what the developers wanted from it. And it was so good. It was so good. So it earns points for me there. Multiplayer in Infinite Warfare, I just flat out did not like. This is my fun fact about Infinite Warfare multiplayer. It is the only multiplayer in Call of Duty history that I did not prestige in. Not because I sat at level 55. I only made it to level 43 before I stopped playing the multiplayer entirely. If I go log onto my Xbox account, which I played it on when it came out, I would be level 43. I just did not like that multiplayer. To the point where I didn't even play like any sort of extensive amount of it. The zombies is very up and down in Infinite Warfare. However, the first two zombies maps, Zombies in Spaceland and Raven the Redwoods for that game, launch map and DLC 1 respectively, are so good. They are so good. Zombies in Spaceland is genuinely in like my best of all time zombies maps category. It is such an incredible zombies experience. It is so just pure fucking fun. If you haven't seen it, it's a zombies map set in the 80s in a theme park called Spaceland. Hence, Zombies in Spaceland. And it plays like a B-movie, like 80s zombie film set in this 80s space park where they have like licensed 80s music playing throughout the whole thing. David Hasselhoff is in the map, like he actually voice acted his role in everything as like the DJ for the park. So you find him in these random DJ booths around the theme park, and he's just like dancing to classic licensed 80s tunes that are playing through the speakers in the theme park. And they've got like water slides that you can go down. They've got like a little roller coaster.
Bibbidi bobbidi bitch.
You guys ever go on one of those rides where you get like a little like blaster that has like a light in it, like a laser, and you shoot targets around and score points? They have like a roller coaster like that you can just genuinely go up to and hop into, and you can like play that roller coaster game pretty much as like a mini game within the zombies maps, or within the zombies map. And they actually have a bunch of arcade games that you can play around the map like that, like little mini game stuff. And you get tickets. By playing these games, you earn tickets. And then those tickets can be used to actually purchase things that you can't purchase with your normal points. So you are pushed into going around and playing these little mini games around the park. And it is genuinely, it's just such a crazy zombies map, but it's such pure fun. It is just nothing but goofy, silly, zombie-themed fun. So good. So good. So that map scores a ton, and Raven the Redwoods is really good. Back when I was a zombies creator, I consistently put it in like a high A tier ranking when I did tier lists and stuff. Which is why I mentioned that one. Not as good, not as pure and magical as Zombies in Spaceland, but it's good. Dedication is inspiring. You kind of get stuck into one aspect until it's done. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, COVID was like a once in a lifetime event. Genuinely. Because, like, you go back through the years for any sort of, like, genuine pandemic like that, and it happens, like, once every 100 years in documented history. Black Ops 2 was my prime zombies game. I bet you played Transit, you fucking heathen. Transit. Fucking Transit. Would you rather live in Arkhamverse, Gotham, or Night City from Cyberpunk? Gotham. Three times I've tuned into stream, it's been batting cages. Was the first time Yakuza 1? Or was it recent with Yakuza 2? Transit is ass, Mob of the Dead is my jam. Okay, he's cultured. Thank God. Thank God. Bring the plague back. I liked my government payments. Bro, get this, right? Get this, chat. I turned 18 1 month into, like, everything being shut down. So I never received a single stimmy because I was 17 at the start of the pandemic. So I wasn't eligible for them. I never received a single stimulus check. Not one. It's more dangerous than Night City. Yeah, but way less depressing. You think Advanced Warfare is also underrated? I do. Especially the campaign is really good in Advanced Warfare. It's very fun. All Yakuza 2. You should have been here for the Yakuza 1 batting cage. Disaster. Because, like, it's the same exact minigame, so I'm at least good at it now. Yakuza 1 did it where you had to perfect just the highest level and none of the rest of them. And I had to learn, like, from scratch how to perfectly play the batting cage minigame. And it took me 3, like, full streams to get a perfect run on that batting cage. I genuinely spent like 8 hours doing just that. Commit robbery in Night City. What's the like SWAT faction basically? Where they just show up like in an instant in Night City and do not hesitate. They just fucking gun you down. Someone help me out here. My Cyberpunk lore is not fresh. Max Tack? Something like that? Max Tech? Something like that. But the Night City police do not fuck around. Slow one. Oh, that was the one that's off by like 2 frames. I was like 2 frames late on ball 18, dude. Fuck. That's the little, like, if you get that one where it makes that sound and it, like, flies up but just misses it by a tiny bit, that window is genuinely only a few frames to get one of those. You have to be just off of a perfect shot to get those. Crazy criminals in Gotham, though? Bro, Night City? Are we talking about the same city? You never hear of Adam Smasher? Because, like, now he works for the Corpos, right? But his whole lore is that he was the most effective criminal ever in the city. and just went on these insane crime sprees, and they sent Max Tack after him time and time again, and he slaughtered them in the streets. Just fucking blew through them because he was so augmented out. He's basically a superhero in, or sorry, a supervillain in Night City. He really is. Plus Cyber Psychos. Yeah, dude. I mean, I think Night City would actually be worse. I'm being so real. I think it would actually be worse. Plus, in the Arkham games, every time something crazy like that has gone down, like in the city, they've just evacuated the city. And like, most people make it out okay. Not everyone, but most people make it out okay. Don't forget what Adam Smasher did to Rebecca. We never forget. That show was so good. I need to rewatch that show someday. It's so short too, which is great for me because I don't do well sticking to shows and stuff. So the fact that that show genuinely from front to back takes like 3 hours total to watch through was perfect. That was so good. I loved Edge Runners. Because like every character in that show was great. It really was. The character writing in that show was just immaculate. There was not a bad character in Edge Runners. There was not. I love how the show gave Cyberpunk the shot in the arm it needed. It really did too. Because like everyone, Cyberpunk came out, it was a shit show, but everyone at release was like, yeah, the redeeming aspect is that the story and like the world building and stuff is so good here. But then we all kind of forgot about Cyberpunk and remembered it as the shit show it was. And then Edge Runners came out and was just a TV show set in that same world and worked on by a lot of the same writers. And we were all kind of like, oh yeah, this world was incredible. Like, this is great. And then Phantom Liberty was not long after, along with like the big 2.0 overhaul patch that fixed up the game. And like Cyberpunk is pretty well liked now. Not what we thought it would have been pre-release, but pretty well liked. Like most people, I would say, lean more positively on Cyberpunk now than negatively. I feel like it's maybe a bit of a stretch, but I generally feel like that's the case. I think it's seen more positively now, for sure. I'd rate it very highly now. I would, like, after playing Phantom Liberty and that patch, and, like, the game works, and there's new side content that's... Not side content, there's a whole new, like, DLC and story expansion that's also phenomenal. Like, I think Cyberpunk is really good if you go replay it now. And also, when Phantom Liberty came out, I had built this Juice PC not too long before, like a couple months before. I had overhauled my whole PC rig to be a baller. So I was able to like crank up the settings and actually see the game look as good as it should. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I missed out on playing on the 1080. Because that's like, the game only came out a couple years after the 1080 Ti, which is what I had. And, you know, the 1080 Ti still is a solid card, not a great one, but it's a card that everyone is like, yeah, if you have a 1080 Ti right now, like, you can still manage on most games. Like, that card can still hold up most of the time. But, dude, Cyberpunk came out, like, 2 years after that card did, and the 1080 Ti couldn't even do that game justice. It was so... It was one of those games that was built for hardware that we just didn't really have yet. Like, unless you had a 2080 or or a 2080 Super or like a 2090 when it came out, you were not experiencing it as it was meant to be. You came back and you're doing the exact same thing. Am I reliving the same day over and over? Yes. Phantom Liberty had some of the most morally gray decisions I've seen in a game. True. True. The decisions were so good. Like those decisions that you genuinely get presented with them and you just sit there and you're like, how am I supposed to choose between these? 2090? I don't think that exists. I swear it does. Yeah, the 2090 exists. Oh wait, no it doesn't. What? Wait, you're right. I found a Reddit thread, like, right at the top when I searched it, and it was a guy saying, like, hey, is the 2090 still good in 2023? And I was like, it is real. And then I open it, and the top response is, there is no RTX 2090. Oh my god, wait. Was there a 1090? The 30 was the first 90. Fuck. You're right. You're right. I didn't fall for Sexy Songbird. I think most people did. All right, hold on. I need to lock it back in, go monk mode. I imagine most did. I wouldn't say I really did, but I maybe possibly sided with Songbird a lot. So maybe I did and I just didn't realize. Morally gay? That's one of the best typos I've seen in a while. That is one of the best ones I've seen in a minute. There were a lot of morally gay decisions in that game, weren't there, chat? It's got an hour 19 this morning. You can't make this up. You shaved 5 minutes in a day? Oh, fuck. The morally gay decision go crazy. Who said it was a typo? Splinter Cell and MGS are one and the same. Both pioneered 3D style. Hold on. Both had polarizing second installments. Both also replaced their voice actors for the main characters. Oh! It's funny though, a lot of MGS fans and Splinter Cell fans don't like the other franchise, like between those two. Like Metal Gear fans shit on Splinter Cell a lot, and Splinter Cell fans shit on Metal Gear a lot. I like both. I like Metal Gear a lot more, to be totally clear. Even though I will be the first to admit that the stealth gameplay is better in Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is hard as balls. Yeah, I appreciate how it's a lot more hardcore when it comes to the stealth. But the thing with Splinter Cell, at least for me, and I haven't played all of them. I've mostly just played the older ones. At least from what I've played, they never had interesting stories. Which is kind of an issue with Tom Clancy. I'll be real. I'll be so real. Tom Clancy's stories have never done too much for me. I feel like the Tom Clancy games have always kicked ass from like a gameplay perspective. But man, like I've never, like Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, like none of his game franchises that he's done writing for have ever had interesting stories. Fuck me sideways. Future Soldier's underrated. Future Soldier's a lot of fun. The multiplayer was good too. Surprisingly good. I played a good bit of Future Soldier multiplayer back in, what was that, like 2013 it came out, I think? Or was it 2012? 2012 or 13? That in like 2013? I thought it was a little later than that. I thought it was more like 2015 maybe. No, wait, no. Oh no, 2013, that is right. I felt like it was a little later than that. Put more focus on story from Double Agent onward. I think Double Agent was the first one I didn't play. Ironically enough. Chaos Theory's good. Pandora Tomorrow was my favorite one. Fast Straight, here we go. Meet me outside, we're having it out. Watch out, he's Scottish. Fuck, I was feeling that one too. I was a little late. Never mind. We're close. We're close. I'm consistently getting like 10. The PS2 has the best missions, but the story is better on HD consoles. Yeah, wasn't that the one that released like on so many systems at the same time, and it had one of those situations where different versions were like entirely different games, right? Which one? Double Agent, I think. Chole supporter. Wait a minute. Is that 3? Wait a minute. Hold on a damn second. I know the first 2 perfectly, but which tier is that? Wait a fucking minute. Hold on. I don't even remember where to find this in my dashboard. I'll be so real. Ah, levels. It is 3. You crazy man. What are you doing? I have no idea. He's just pressing buttons. This is apparently what I've always had? I thought you were a contributor. Which one am I on? 7. Okay. Crazy man. I thought you were a tier 2, not a tier 3. YouTube tiers. Twitch frogs are like tier 3. My YouTube tiers are different. YouTube tier 3 is like a Twitch tier 2. The way that I do it over there. Twitch just doesn't let you customize your tiers because they suck. Oh, fuck. Got my emotes back, so I'm happy. I got a message false right now. Hold on. You reminded me of something. Better be paying for charitable Chole. No, False isn't a member. And I'm not subbed to her either. Which might sound crazy, like when you say it. But because YouTube and Twitch both take a cut of of like revenue, we'd literally, like, we would be giving each other some money, but we'd be giving a lot of money to YouTube and Twitch to do so as well. So we're not like members or subs to each other. I'd consider upping my tier if the rewards were more enticing. What do you want? Feet pics? Tier 4 feet pics? All the money doesn't go to you? Not all of it. They take a cut. It's not a big cut. At least on YouTube. On Twitch, it's a big cut. Twitch takes 50% of subs. Twitch takes a pretty massive cut on subs. It's actually one of the reasons that I left Twitch years ago. Granted, now I dual stream on it, so I'm on both. But Twitch takes 50? Yeah, Twitch takes 50% of subs. And ad revenue. And on Twitch, Twitch gives you 100% cut on bits. Is like the only thing that they give you all of on Twitch. But the thing is, Twitch's conversion rate on bits, like when you go to buy them, still puts them at a pretty massive profit. Like they might as well just be taking a cut. Like here, I gotta open False's channel and go to the bits thing. How much is it to buy bits? Okay, so 100 bits to buy is $1.40 USD, right? Bear with me, because I'm not gonna pull up like Notepad or anything. So just in your head, imagine 100 bits is $1.40 to purchase, right? But 100 bits, if you give those to a streamer, comes out to exactly $1 because 1 bit is 1 cent USD. So you pay $1.40 to give the streamer $1. Or if you go up to the next like purchase tier, you pay $7 to get 500 bits. So you pay 7 to give 5. So it's better than 50-50, which they take on everything else, but they do still take a pretty big cut on bits. It's just disguised because you technically get 100%, but because you're purchasing them at an inflated rate to begin with, you're not actually giving 100%. It's a weird thing to try to explain. But hopefully that makes sense with the bits. The bits. That's why gifting subs is better. On YouTube, gifting members is good. Like what DS said, where he would pay for a higher tier, but the rewards aren't that exciting, so he prefers to gift members to other people instead, like on stream. That works. It's all the same to me. If the upper rewards aren't much to you and you'd rather just spread more members elsewhere, we both win. YouTube also wins. We all win. YouTube doesn't mind you gifting more either. Everyone wins. How much sub-story completion did you get in Zero? Like 60%. I think I did like 60 some of the total 100 sub-stories. So I didn't do a lot of them. But I mentioned in the video that I got to a point where I was like 60 hours deep in the game. And I was in like chapter 12 at this point. And I just said, okay, I'm 60 hours in. I still have like 5 story chapters to go. I just need to stop and just finish this game so I can actually start making the video. Because at that point, I had been just playing the game for like 8 days straight. And I said, okay, I need to stop and just actually make the video now. Like, I've seen plenty. I don't need to see everything. How much of the side stories do you do on each game? For the review, I typically do about half of them, give or take. Depending on the game. Normally about half of them for the review. Which is probably more than I need to for just reviewing the game. But that's normally about what I do. A lot of YouTubers ban me for being a fruity, femboy-loving wig. Yeah. You got lucky here. Spread'em is crazy. What? Where did that come from? What the fuck was that? Oh my god, that was medium. I read the wrong one. Because I'm glancing, and I read the fast one. It happens from time to time. Pretty quick if you just grind the Realty and Cabaret games for a few hours. Man, I put hours into them. And I got close, but I also didn't know about the styles until after I finished and was writing the script. So I probably would have stuck it out a little more had I known. But because I play blind, I had no idea. It was morally gay. Fuck. God damn it. I hate the real estate grind. Yeah, the real estate one really did feel more grindy. But I was at least making money so fast that I was able to stick with it. Like, perfectly fine. Sorry, hiccups. But the real estate feels more grindy, for sure. Because it really is just like, go do some stuff for real estate, go out for like 10 minutes, go back to the real estate, and just do that on loop, pretty much. And even though you can multitask with it, it's just kind of tedious. You can literally make billions. You seriously, dude, by the time that I kind of stopped grinding it and went to just do main story, I was making like 2 billion yen every time I went back to that office. It was ridiculous. I want that 4-year loyalty badge. It's hot. Hey, you got how long to go? It didn't say months because it's not on auto renew, so I don't know. The problem is I'm doing it on premium adventure. Yeah, I love playing the games and doing the side content as you go. But it's kind of, there's a positive and negative for both, to be fair. I don't like doing the 100% on premium adventure Because I feel like part of the fun of doing a genuine 100% and getting everything is being able to like go into the final boss fight at the very end, fully maxed out with every ability and just go ham. Like that's part of the appeal of a 100% run for me. But even just playing the games normally, it's like, yeah, I want to have cool abilities for those big boss fights in the story, right? Like those really cool fights. So I lean way more on doing all the side stuff throughout the main story. Fuck me. Rather than waiting and just like doing it in premium adventure after. But that does also mean that sometimes I do so much side content for so long that I go back to the main story and I'm kind of like, wait, what was going on again? What were we doing? Why am I doing this? I don't remember. So there's positives and negatives to both, for sure. Ever think about members only streams? I did, but I don't really know what they would be because I already stream every day. Sorry, my brain. And outside of stream, like other than late at night when I'm just gaming to game on my own time, playing whatever I want, I'm just working on videos pretty much. Members only Snake's Revenge streams. Yeah, still Major League. So basically, I feel like the only way I could do good members only streams would be if I cut normal stream days and basically like took away some of the normal streams and replaced them with members only stuff. And I don't love the idea of that. Three fast ones, right? Yeah. I'm learning. Would low-key watch you and False playing dumb online games. We do sometimes just play stupid games that she finds on like Steam or whatever. Not super often. Like lately, instead of stuff like that, like we've been playing through the Gears games, right? And then we also, if we just don't have a ton of time and we just want to play something that's like quick and we don't want to be like progressing Gears or whatever, we genuinely do play like old school zombies a good bit, like World at War and Black Ops 1. Which is where y'all still play Night Rain? Not anymore. I don't even remember what really happened with that. I think it was just that we got distracted by other stuff and she was basically like, we don't even play Night Rain anymore. And I was like, we could if you want to. Like, I still have it installed. And she was like, oh, I uninstalled it. And I said, oh. All right. Well. Okay. Which she really enjoyed Night Rain when we were playing it. So I don't know. I feel like someday we probably will play it again. Warhammer Gladius streams? Bro, I still have never beat her in Warhammer. I still have not once. Granted, we haven't played it in a long time because games of Gladius take a super long time. Like a Warhammer game. Because Gladius is basically just the closest thing to them porting the tabletop game to like video game format. It's as close as anything they've ever done, and it is really close to the tabletop game. Just a little more Civ inspired as well. It's great. It's really fun. Oh my god, that neck snap was so diabolical. I hope the mic didn't pick it up. It was just one really loud one. It's one. It was like deep and bassy. Tabletop game is incredibly fun. I don't play tabletop, and it's not that I just hate tabletop games, but I've just never gotten into tabletop. I would probably love if they just literally made the tabletop game into a video game. Like just 1-to-1. Just make it a strategy game. Make it play exactly like the tabletop game. I bet I'd love it. Because you know what I don't want to do? You know what I don't want to do, chat? I don't want to have to collect a whole bunch of the minifigures and paint them and pay exorbitant amounts of money to build up armies for all the different factions. I would just love a game where I could play the tabletop game without all the physical stuff and all the additional spending and all that comes with the hobby. Yeah, I would love one where you can just like set up the board, build up your armies through some sort of like long-term progression. What am I doing? Some sort of long-term progression. And then, you know, be able to enjoy it without paying that much money. But I bet the reason that they haven't done that is because then why would you pay to play the tabletop outside of just for the sake of it actually being physical? They are probably, you know, mindful about something like that, maybe undercutting the actual tabletop game to an extent. Even though I feel like it's totally different demographics, I would just bet that that's why it hasn't happened. Yeah, that's the thing. They make so much off the miniatures that, like, making something like that would probably just undercut it unless they did monetize it to a similar extent. That's kind of what I'm getting at. There are 40k mods for tabletop. That would be solid enough. My thing is just kind of like having all the little things automated goes such a long way for me. Which is why even tabletop ports are iffy for me. Because genuinely, you know what is like the greatest thing that I feel like I can never go back from? Even though the port itself is so terrible? The Monopoly game on Steam. The Monopoly like desktop game that you can get, and it's literally just the Monopoly board game. But all of like the math and, you know, giving the property cards and stuff like that, just all the little things automated. The banking and the money and all that automated. No one has to do that. Which for some people is part of the fun of tabletop. For me, I love just being able to play a board game, like a good board game, like Monopoly. I love Monopoly. That actually just, you know, expedites those processes. Basically, the parts of tabletop gaming that drive me nuts. Like needing to stop once or twice a turn to do stuff like that is one of the things that I really don't like about tabletop games. So just the Monopoly game on desktop is like a godsend. Weirdly. I'm 2 hours into this, almost. Almost, not 2 hours. I go to my local Games Workshop store. Half the people playing and collecting are women. I mean, the nerdier hobbies are spreading. They really are. What kind of microtransactions? I have no idea about microtransactions. Like, I don't even know if there are, to be real with you. But yeah, Monopoly Plus is what it's called on Steam. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like, you can play Monopoly on tabletop, but just actually playing, like, the proper Monopoly, like, desktop game that I believe Ubisoft put out is so much better because it's all automated. It's so nice. It's so nice. That's what I'm supposed to do. That one felt late. I'm shocked it wasn't. Oh, early? Fuck. I wouldn't hate if they sold all digital armies for like $50. Maybe half the troops available and then the rest would be additional purchases. Let me go look at the Gladius pricing. Because Gladius is the tabletop game like mixed with Civ. And I know that sounds so weird, but genuinely, it's like my favorite 40K game I've played. It kicks so much ass, and you can play it in private matches with friends and all that. And I've played the other RTS games from Warhammer, like Dawn of War and stuff. And I prefer Gladius. I really do. Because it's turn-based. And at first I thought I wouldn't like it as much, but man, I fuck with it. They sell the other factions as DLC for the most part. The game comes with, like, the Space Marines, the Orcs, the Necron. I couldn't think of their name for some reason. It comes with a few. It comes with 4. I can't remember the 4th one off the top of my head. But then they have, like, all of the other major factions available as DLC. And they're like $15 a piece to just get the whole faction available in the game. Like, all the units and everything. And it's a little expensive to get into at first, but, you know, it is like, I've got 4 factions right off the bat just for having the game. And then over time, like, if I want to pick up the Chaos Space Marines, I might buy them. And then, you know, a little later, I might want the Tyranids, so maybe I'll pick those guys up. You have to get... Necrons are base game. False plays Necrons when we play it. That's who she plays. And I have played them. They're fucking broken in that game, but I've played them. I really fuck with the Space Marines in that game, as well as... That's who she plays when she beats you? Yeah. The self-healing and, like, the reviving stuff with the it's so broken in a game like that. It is so powerful. It's crazy. Because, like, yeah, their units aren't quite as strong for, like, balancing purposes for that. But just being able to maintain the numbers and, like, the volume of that army. And also they build up really quickly. Like, just, they go from, like, having nothing at the start of a match to having a crazy army way quicker than the other factions. At least in the base game. Probably not, like, faster than the Tyranids, I would have to imagine, if you pick those up for DLC. But they build up really quickly from 0. That army is just as annoying on the actual tabletop. Yeah, because, like, you can, you know, slice them down pretty quickly. But they get back up. Like, unless you wipe out all of them in, like, 1 or 2 turns, they just keep getting up. Because they can revive each other. Like, the hero units and stuff, they can just fucking revive a squad of basic soldiers, and then, boom, you're dealing with them again at full health. Right? Like, it's crazy. Just being able to build up that quickly and then maintain the volume even though the individual units are cheaper, or sorry, are weaker is what I meant to say. It goes a long way. I wish I could remember the name. It's the, like, human military that's not the Space Marines. Is it Astra Militarum? Militarum? Is that it? Is that right? Because that's the faction I, like, actually really landed on and fucked with and played the most. Out of the base game offering there. Space Marines were second. Literally means Star Army. Yeah, I got there. I need to brush up on my 40k lore. It's been too long, clearly. I fuck with the world building in 40k. Of course I do. 20-year-old guy. Of course I do. Okay, maybe not 20-year-old. Early 20s. Of course I fuck with 40k lore. I thought OG Yakuza games were more linear. They have less side content compared to, like, later stuff, but no, they're pretty fleshed out, like, in a similar way. Especially Yakuza 2. Yakuza 2 built a lot from Yakuza 1 in terms of the side offering. Fuck my life. Come on, man. That was ball 15. Cheap and easy to repair tech, but combined with overpowered sci-fi weapons. I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed playing them. They are a little harder to manage, like, resource-wise, in Gladius. I don't know if that converts over to tabletop. Because I don't really know what does and doesn't. I understand that they're very similar, but very different in a lot of ways, too. In Gladius, they're really tricky to get used to, like, maintaining and learning how to manage their resources well. But once you do, they can be real nice. They can do a lot of good shit. But they are a lot to wrap your head around at first. Out of the, like, base game roster... Okay, yeah, they're hard to manage also. Lots of units. Yeah, that's the same thing there, too. Just a ton of units that all are very different. Like, they're not very well-rounded. They're all very specific, if that makes sense. Like, very, you know, this unit is like a hard counter to this unit. But then also, like, the same unit gets very hard countered by this other unit, sort of thing. Like, it's a lot of that with them, too. Like, knowing where to deploy what is also tricky. Whereas Necron, it's just like, build up a fuck ton of the basic bitches, just little guys, and send in like 20 of them. Just fucking ball out. Strength in numbers. Okay. I don't know. I really, like, I started in release order with Yakuza. And now that I'm getting to Zero and the Kiwamis and playing those for the first time, I am definitely, like, very understanding of how inaccessible a lot of the earlier Yakuza franchises. But at the same time, it is, like, I feel like I'm leaning very strongly now on... If you can only, like, get access to because of whatever console you play on or whatever it might be, if you can only really start out with like 0/Kiwamis, then do that. Like, that's fine. But if you can start with the PS2 games and go up in release order instead, I do think it's better. Like, as a total experience. It's also how much time you're wanting to invest in the series and all that too. That's a factor. But like, if you're really into it and you've got the means, I would absolutely recommend going with the PS2 games first. Fuck. 100%. And even less accessible is stuff like Kenzan and OG Ishin. But those are also like, if you are one of the people who can get into them, like if, and that's very specific because it's like, if you're willing to import and you have the systems and you can speak Japanese, like speak and read Japanese, if you meet those criteria and you can play Kenzan and OG Ishin as part of it, fucking do it. They are so good. They are so good. Like, both of them are still very high up on my rankings so far. When you play Yakuza 3, you're gonna feel really weird. It's also just that you don't get to see as much of the progression of the franchise, like, as it actually happened, right? From a gameplay and systems perspective, too. It's a hard sell. Yeah, for sure. It's like when people ask me, you know, how do I approach Armored Core? And my answer has become like, wherever you want to start, just start somewhere. It doesn't really matter much. But if you're really interested in it and you have the means to start with the PS1 games and just work up, that is absolutely my recommendation for Armored Core too. Going to the hospital, tried lifting weights and my dink exploded. Your dink? Normal players don't usually do it. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, it's one of those where like most people won't want to do it or won't have the hardware or whatever available to do it. And especially most people won't want to do it and have the hardware at the same time. But if you do, and it's so worth it. Metal Gear start with MSX. It's the same thing with Metal Gear. It's kind of the same thing with everything. The more series that I play, the more I'm like, this ends up applying to everything for me. Like, it's just, if you just want to play one specific part of it, like you don't really care much about the older stuff or you don't have the hardware for it or whatever, it's fine to skip it. But if you're willing and you have the means, release order is always so cool to go through and like see the progression. Really want to play Armored Core? Can you change the controls at all? Yeah, on PC, if you're doing emulation, if you're going that route, there is a community member who made like proper analog patches for the games, if you're familiar with patching game dumps on emulation. That is a thing you can do now. When I got into it, that wasn't a thing yet. He hadn't made the patches at the time. It's actually a guy who watched my Armored Core streams who did those. Those are an option. But the classic controls add a charm, genuinely, because you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this control scheme? But at the same time, it's kind of a part of it that you come to enjoy, weirdly. It's total Stockholm syndrome, I'll be real with you. But like, I still play classic Armored Core on classic controls. Like, to this day, when I play them, I've never even tried the dual analog patch. Because for me, since I've adapted to them, those controls are just part of classic Armored Core. Oh my god, what am I doing? Kiwami 3 could turn Yakuza 4 into the franchise's new punching bag. I do think 4 plays significantly better to the point where it wouldn't be as bad. However, I think it still would turn Yakuza 4 into the punching bag. Genuinely. Just because so many people do opt for the Kiwamis over the originals. So even though Yakuza 4 plays considerably better, I guarantee you that new fans would still come in and play the Kiwamis first and then go back to 4. And they would be like, what the fuck is this? Why does it play so shit? And it would purely be by comparison. You know what I mean? Like, it would still, I think it would have the same thing. Because Yakuza 3, if you play in release order, feels great. Like, you go from Yakuza 2 to 3, or in my case, from Kenzan to 3, Yakuza 3 feels awesome. But you go from, like, a Kiwami 2 to Yakuza 3, not so much. So I bet you if people started going from a Kiwami 3 to a Yakuza 4, it would be the same thing. I prefer Kenzan over 3. As a game in total, I absolutely do. Even combat-wise, I probably do. But Yakuza 3 still feels great because you go back to, like, the classic Kiryu fighting style, basically with almost all of Kenzan's improvements there. Right? Like, that was still awesome for me, to be playing with, like, the classic Kiryu moveset, just with Kenzan's improvements, basically. Even though I think Musashi's, like, fighting styles and movesets were more fun, for sure. Like, his dual sword stance, awesome. Loved that shit. Imagine ragdolling fat asses in 3, that would be good. That would be good. I forgot about the ragdolls on the big guys in Kenzan. Oh my god. What is happening? Can I come out of the basement, please? I'm hungry. Have you 100%ed Yakuza on the PlayStation 2 yet? Have you? Really need that Kenzan translation patch. I'm so excited for the Kenzan translation to happen, like to be publicly available and everything. Literally just because I know that there will be so many hardcore Yakuza fans who jump straight into Kenzan as soon as it becomes available, who will love it. Like, who will absolutely love that game once it's just in a state where you can actually play it and enjoy it for what it is. Because obviously, only being available in Japanese puts a massive barrier on Kenzan for most of the fandom. I literally just got a comment yesterday from someone saying, like, yeah, I played Kenzan totally in Japanese using a walkthrough that, like, explains what's happening in the story and how to progress and all that. And even though it was a solid experience and I enjoyed it, I feel like I missed out on, like, really experiencing the game. And it made me think just yesterday when I was reading that about, like, man, that translation patch needs to come out. I'm just waiting, man. They'll have to change Konda's actor. Oh, man. Those back shots are not going to hit the same with a different actor. They're really not. Those back shots? Here, chap. If any of you are here from me playing other games and you're still not sold on the Yakuza series, like the classic Yakuza games, if I haven't managed to sell you yet, Allow me to present to you this fight from Yakuza 3. I'm preparing the video because I'm just gonna go to that bit of the fight. Okay, here. If I have not sold you on this franchise yet, allow me to show you this bit from Yakuza 3. It's so good. I don't know who the fuck cooked this up. I don't know who thought of this. Like, who genuinely was doing animations for this fight and just... But it's fucking glorious. It's so good. Where can I play this game? There is an accessible remaster available on Steam and modern systems for 3. Show us those stretches. Stretches? Did someone redeem a stretch and I missed it? I don't see one. Oh, the Conda stretches. It's the music too. It's just, Yakuza is great for shit like that. Why was he getting back shots before being suplexed? Literally just because they were fighting in a love hotel. So they just made that a quick time event. They were in like the premium suite of a love hotel. And so just one of the animations was just Kiryu hitting back shots on him out of nowhere. An effect of the atmosphere, yes. It's peak cinema, absolute cinema. That's when I get those comments on like the PS2 games where people are like, man, this series went so downhill after Yakuza 2. It got way too silly. I can't take these games seriously anymore. I can appreciate the perspective. I can. But like, you then get stuff like that as early as Yakuza 3, and I love the serious and silly mix that Yakuza goes into after the PS2 era. After Kenzan, I would say. Kenzan is not very silly either. It has its silly stuff, but it's mostly pretty serious. Yakuza 3 really is where they started to get like silly.
Language. The fucking whore you are.
The cow sub-story? Yeah, there's some of it in Kenzan. But then Yakuza 3, I feel like the difference is that Yakuza 3 started putting it in like the main story. Right? Whereas like Yakuza 2 has silly stuff outside of the main story. Kenzan has silly stuff in like minigames and sub-stories. Yakuza 3 and onwards is where even the main story stuff starts to sprinkle in a lot of silly shit. And I feel like that's one of the biggest strengths of the later games. Is just the fact that they can bounce between those tones so much and so well. Like they can juggle those tones and have it not feel totally out of place somehow. I feel like it's a genuine strength of the series. What exactly are we doing here? For the minigame completion, I have to get a perfect 20 home runs on every batting cage course. As in, just in one go, I have to hit all 20 balls with home runs. You see at the bottom there? Oh, hell no. This is optional. This is 100% shit. which is pain. I probably should lock in a little more. We've been here a while. Save state at the start? No, we do this like a man. Men don't use save states. We could go for another day or two. Bet we could. We did with Yakuza 1. Oh yeah, earlier, for anyone who wasn't here when I said it, I said that I saw on Twitter a screenshot from Reddit where someone asked what the Yakuza series was about, and a guy responded to them, and they said that the Yakuza series is about something bad happens in Tokyo every game. And Kiryu, even when he doesn't really need to be involved, like it kind of has nothing to do with him, he'll find a way to involve himself, despite having sworn that he was out of the Tojo Clan for good the game prior. And then he'll solve whatever problem there is by beating the shit out of like 50,000 dudes, while also going around and perfectly completing every single like fun activity in the city, arcade games, whatever. Like he absolutely demolishes every fun activity that he can find, and he also solves all of the problems of every civilian in the city while he's there. And that's what the Yakuza series is about. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? That's genuinely the most accurate description of this franchise that I've ever seen. That is actually the most spot-on description I've ever come across for this series. That sounds good. It's pretty spot on, right? Like, he involves himself, beats the shit out of everyone, goes around playing arcade games and shit, and just demolishing every high score or whatever he can find. Any random person on the street has any problem, he'll fix it. Probably by beating the shit out of someone at some point. That's almost always involved. Shit. Wait, Yang Ya was in Gaiden? Which one was Daryl back in? Which dub was that? Was that Like a Dragon? Was that 7? That they got Daryl back? I thought it was Gaiden. It was 7. Okay, never mind then. I did watch a lot of stuff from the director's cut, by the way, while working on Yakuza 0. Who here has played Yakuza 0 director's cut? Because I need to know if I'm crazy, but like, the dub felt not good. And like, I've seen clips of the other Yakuza dubs, and they don't seem great either, like the recent dubs, but they seem a lot better than Yakuza 0 director's cut. I watched a lot of scenes with the English dub, and they just felt like the dub felt very like amateurish, for lack of a better word. And I don't really like using that word, but that's kind of the best term I've got for it. Like just very like low budget, you know, we got the cheaper actors in, we didn't really give them too much direction sort of dub. Like that's how it felt to me. It was really weird. Majima was fine. Majima was good. I didn't really like anyone else, to be honest. From what I remember, at least. I didn't really like any of the other voice actors in the English dub for Zero. Because the Japanese is so good. Not even that. Like, obviously there's some of that, but that's not even really what I was thinking. Like, just the English dub, if that was the voice acting in the game to start with, like if it came out in English and that's the voice acting roster that it had, I would be criticizing it a lot. I would be like, where the fuck did they find these people? Oh, it was off by like a frame. God damn it. Those seemed off and it wasn't just the context. Dude. Okay, I've seen the new director's cutscenes. I watched them after completing the whole game. What the fuck? What the fuck were they cooking with those cutscenes? Actually. What the hell was that? For real? Just genuinely, what the fuck? It ruined the story. I wouldn't go that far, but it ruined a lot of points in the story that were good. Like a lot of plot points that were perfectly fine. And they just fucked them for no reason. The Kuze one was fine. But like, I don't, there are plenty of people in chat who have not played the Yakuza games. So the scene that they added with the director's cut that was not in the original game, where the guy who died in like a point blank explosion, like literally less than a foot from the explosion, in the normal story of Yakuza 0, the guy who died there, just not actually being dead in an added scene in Yakuza 0, like a reveal that he somehow lived. Why? There's no reason. There's no reason to do that. Right?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they do that?
$5 to say it.
Say what? Hold on. $5, just say it. The Kronk voice is so cursed. I love that I've kept the Kronk voice literally just because he's so fucked. It's so good. Oh. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of gum. Realize how many explosions there have been? Yeah, but like, he was in the car that blew up. Car bomb. It was a car bomb. I can say that without it being spoilers. And like, he was dead. For the last 10 years of Yakuza 0 being a game, a video game, he died in that explosion. The car was like genuinely completely burnt to a crisp in the explosion. And then they just, in the director's cut, changed it to he actually lived. So stupid. I genuinely cannot wrap my head around why they would change that. Personally, I just can't. Because even, like, it's a total nothing burger of an added scene, too. Like, it's not like the added scene really adds to the story at all. It genuinely is just there to reveal that he lived. It makes me scared that they would mess up the story of 3 if they did a Kiwami. Maybe. I mean, and I kind of was predicting bullshit like that. Before Zero Director's Cut even came out, not having played the game at the time. Hold on.
Actually, I'm in really bad shape financially. I pay money to my ex-wife as part of her divorce settlement, among other bills.
Oh. Oh, he just stopped. Thank you for the 20, Ryden. And thank you for the 5, Douglas. Sorry. I'm pretty sure they were deleted scenes from the original game. I feel like there's no way. Because I vaguely remember them saying that, but after having watched them, I'm just so... Like, there's no way they actually were originally in that game and just cut. Maybe 1 or 2 of them. I feel like some of them might have been, but stuff like that scene just feels so out of left field and genuinely like they don't add to the story at all. They only take away from it. So, like, I don't know. I feel like some of them must have been. Because I do feel like the Kuze one probably was. The one with Nishiki in the car, that probably was. Like, I could believe those being cut from the original story. Just for the sake of, like, not having even longer stretches of cutscenes than they already did in that game. But then some of them just feel so random. And, like, the one of Kiryu finding the guy and beating him up. Again, just enough for me to say without spoiling. That also feels so random. Like, that one isn't bad or offensive by any means like the other one is, but, like, just why? What do we even really get out of that sort of thing? I don't know. Really weird. Really, really weird. Did you know Mine was supposed to be in Zero? No. There's an unused asset of him in that engine. Surely not tied to, like, the main story in any way. Because it just wouldn't fit, like, timeline-wise. But that would have been awesome. I could totally see that, too, because they had just worked with his actor again the year prior on Ishin. So I could very realistically see him being in Zero. Like, they still were actively working with him at that time. Is Mine in Ishin Kiwami still, chat? That one I don't know. Because I know a ton of Ishin's actors got replaced in Kiwami. Was Mine still in it? I don't remember all of the changes. I remember some of them. Yes, good. Good. He was great in that game. He was very good in that game. I liked him a lot in that one. How much is 20 pounds in dollars? Our money costs more? Yeah. Hold on, I can look. I thought I missed that. That felt early to me. Not a ton, I thought. Oh, like not in the game a ton? No, he's not in it too much. But like, I know Aizawa's not in Ishin Kiwami. which sucks because Aizawa in that game is also awesome. The actor that they had who wasn't in a prior game for Takechi Hunpeta was fantastic. I know they replaced him with Shibusawa's actor, which is fine, but like my reaction to seeing the comparative scenes prior to playing Zero, because I did look at Ishin Kiwami's scenes before Zero. I didn't like him as much, but maybe now having played Zero and having a little more attachment to the actor, I might enjoy it more. £20 in USD is... Hold on. Yeah, Douglas is in USD. I thought so. So £20 is $26.99 USD. $26.99. Those who have played Yakuza 0, you know he's going to be the final fight. So I'm not on board replacing him with Shibusawa. I can see that for sure. But the thing with Ishin is they kind of did a lot of that with the other actors. Not with Hunpeta particularly. Although, keep in mind, the game was released exclusively in Japan originally, with the stated reason being that Japanese audiences would already be very familiar with the history of these characters, whereas if they released it worldwide, those audiences wouldn't be. Same with their stated reason for Kenzan. So granted, if you know the history, you already know that Hunpeta would be an antagonist long term. And again, other actors, they put them into similar roles as what they were in prior games. So like when you fight Saejima at his introduction, you kind of know that Saijima's not actually going to be an antagonist in this game. Like he's going to be someone who you initially think is an antagonist, but he becomes an ally, and like a close ally at that. And when you see Majima, like his actor show up, you kind of immediately know that he's going to be a slightly antagonistic, but overall more of an ally than an enemy kind of rival character throughout the story. And like they did a lot of that in Ishin. And I can see how that might be lost a little bit in Kiwami, with the series being further fleshed out and having a lot of different actors need to come in to replace other people. But like Aizawa's character was basically one-to-one the same as his character in Yakuza 5. Like they did a lot of that. And that was kind of the point. That was kind of the whole point of them doing that with those actors, like putting them into similar or just frankly the same roles as in the other mainline games that came before. That was kind of the fun of it. Was you would see, and if you're familiar, you're like, oh, okay, I know what this guy's doing because I know what this guy did in the prior games, right? So to be fair, having the final boss guy acted by a prior final boss guy, I think is fine. Even if that specific character they hadn't done it with in the original Ishin, I don't think it's really an issue because, again, for the audience that was intended, you already knew he was the final boss anyway. Like, I read up on the history of the time period and the characters before playing the game because that's what they expect. They expect you to have that kind of frame of reference for playing it. So when I started and I met Hunpeta, I kind of knew that we weren't gonna stay buds for very long. Hayashi, yeah. Another example of like playing the same role as the mainline games. With Mine's character, yeah, that was the one character that like they actually just pulled a switch on it. Because the whole time I'm thinking Mine is gonna be like one of the main antagonists because it's Mine. But then he was like the one exception where they just totally flipped it to fuck with you. That's a fast one. Damn it. Damn it. Was she the best for 3 next? We're doing Kenzan next. Is English patch ready or not? At this rate, probably ready. Assuming they don't disappear for another 4 years. But yeah, what was fun with Ishin, for me especially, was like, there were only like 3 actors in the entirety of OG Ishin's main story who weren't from prior games. Genuinely, there were only like 3 of them. I'm trying to think. It was Han Peta, it was... I can't remember his name. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Like, I can picture his face, I can picture scenes with him, but I can't remember his name. God damn it. Hold on. Curious of what kind of new info RGG games we'll get at Tokyo Game Show? Yeah, I'm curious if we'll get much new. Because I wouldn't expect much more from them other than just more info on Stranger Than Heaven right now. Only because they just announced Stranger Than Heaven, like, fully, right? Obviously, they teased it, like, last year, but we only just got the full announcement this year. Oh yeah, probably more Virtua Fighter in terms of new stuff, actually. I would lean on that. Now that you bring it up, I would genuinely lean more towards Virtua Fighter 6 being the more significant news stuff from them at Tokyo Game Show this month. But probably also more gameplay or whatever of Stranger Than Heaven. Probably a release date for it, I would imagine. That would be great. Hopefully I'm done with the rest of the games by then. I don't know, man. RGG releases games really regularly. So even though we haven't gotten a date yet, and what's it? Pirate Yakuza just came out back in February. It might come out like early next year. There's a chance that they're just like, oh yeah, fucking March, February, whatever. And I'm not going to be prepared. Starting to run out of money, you might want to save state. What I was going to do is just, if I run out of money, I'm just going to load my last save. Oh, fuck. Mid-September? I thought it was late August this year. Was it not? I thought it was like the very end of August this year. Kiwami 3, is it too much to ask? Hey, I'm not holding my breath on Kiwami 3, even though last year they said they are maybe thinking about it without any specific plans. That would be the biggest thing. And I know I've said this before. For me saying I'm not expecting any like Kiwami news right now is like, obviously we don't even have a release date for Stranger Than Heaven yet. So that's a big factor. But then again, like about a year ago, it was a little over a year ago. It was like a year and 2 or 3 months ago at this point. when asked about Kiwami 3, his comment was like, yeah, we've considered doing that for like a future Kiwami title, but we don't really have any specific plans, but we very well might be doing it at some point. The fact that that was only like a year ago makes me lean towards they probably won't be announcing it anytime soon, even if we assume that they started working on it maybe after Pirate Yakuza, let's say. Because obviously Stranger Than Heaven was pretty far along while they were doing Pirate Yakuza. They were putting a lot of resources into that, and obviously Virtual Fighter's happening now. When did I become number one? Probably after the super chat, because this system is so pay to win, it's insanity. I would expect Kiwami 3 in like 3 years. Yeah. And I'm also, for clarity, leaning towards that being the next Kiwami title. I feel like, I don't know though, because I say that, but then my beloved Kenzan is right there. And like, think about it. Kenzan released between Yakuza 2 and Yakuza 3. It was the in-between game of those. It was the first PS3 game. A lot of people think a Kiwami for Kenzan is impossible. I am not one of those people. Because most people are like, oh, the Haruka stuff. But the Haruka stuff isn't even bad. Like, historical context and all that is there, and like, it's not even that bad. It's not great, it's not good, but it's not like, oh my god, we could never remake this game because of Haruka. It's nowhere near that. It's because the thing with the history of it is that it's not child prostitution like some people say and like clickbait and stuff. Instead, it's like child slavery where they coerce you into becoming a prostitute once you are of age. So it's not good, but it's not so bad that we could never touch it or remake it, right? And like it's fucked up, but it's not like completely untouchable. So grooming, yeah. Yeah, and it is legit slavery because they buy them. Like, they literally just straight up pay for them at the start, and then they don't get paid. Right? Like, they don't earn a wage from it. Like, they straight up, they buy you for cash, and then you work for them for life until they either release you or sell you off to someone else. It is slavery. They never use that term in the game, but that's what it is. Probably just, I bet they didn't use that term at the time either in Japan. They probably used other terms, but if they're historically accurate and do it with respect, then it should be told. It is historically accurate. Yeah, that's the thing. It's bad, but like history is bad. There is bad stuff like that in history, and especially in Japan. Like, they did have a very active slave trade with children as well. You know, they didn't discriminate based on age. The brothels would buy girls who were selling themselves into slavery young, and they wouldn't have them doing sexual things. I can't remember the term for the younger girls. There is a term like translated into English. I just don't remember off the top of my head. This is about Kenzan, yeah. But basically, they would buy them and have them work in like the brothels. Just as like, they would basically do the chores. Like, they would do the laundry, they would clean the place, they would do stuff like that, right? Which, granted, doing laundry in the brothel, right? But like, again, bad, just not so bad that we can't touch it ever in a remake, right? Maids, basically. Yeah, they would buy these young girls as maids essentially. And then while they're working there, they're obviously encouraged as they get older to become like the older women who are bought in, or sorry, who they purchase also as slaves, who become the prostitutes for the brothel. Like, the younger girls do kind of get encouraged as they work there and start to age up to go into that position once they're able to. And there wasn't like a set age for it. It was, I want to say it was like once puberty happened, it was kind of like, yeah, I think it's about time. But the history on the specifics of that is a little muddier. It's not like exactly well known. But it wasn't good. It was bad. It was very bad. Just, I don't think it makes Kenzan impossible to remake, because that is also the literal only thing that I've ever heard brought up in regards to Kenzan is an impossible game to remake because this. And I think that's a bit silly. I think Kenzan Remake is very possible. If they did Ishin, they can do Kenzan. Because that, I would say that's worse than any like subject matter in Ishin, for sure. But it's not like they approach it positively. Like, they literally show Haruka being abused by the people who run the place. Physically abused. Like, they beat her for not doing things right. And they show like a government official coming into the place and not really caring about the rules and trying to take her off into the other room. Like, they're not, you know, sugarcoating it at all. And yeah, there is an interview where they talked about, like, if Ishin did well, they would consider Kenzan. And Ishin did very well, from what I understand. How does this affect LeBron's legacy? Who? Jokes, of course. I think Ishin did sell well, Ishin Kiwami, from what I understand. But I also know that it's a game that the fandom doesn't talk about much. At least from what I've seen. Like, I see it brought up here and there. But it generally seems like people kind of bought it, played it, forgot about it. Early, son of a bitch. Give the great swords wave beam attacks. That could actually be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Great swords, like, shooting out a wave when you swing them. Maybe, like, you know, obviously, because Kenzan has a very in-depth, like, crafting system. And every sword, at least from what I experienced, I think every sword and weapon in the game can get up to the point of being, like, this legendary sword that literally has a unique aura to it and unique, like, status effect or whatever. That could be a really fun, like, legendary greatsword. Like, the sword that's so big that he can barely even walk around with it because it's just this giant hunk of stone. Imagine if you could have, like, one legendary one. Probably, like, the hardest one to get. That shoots out, like, a wave on maybe the very last attack of, like, the very last heavy finisher, right? That could be pretty cool. I feel like it's not much crazier than what is in Ishin in terms of, like, all the legendary weapons and stuff. It's a bit crazier, but, like, my katana that I had at the end of Ishin literally had, like, a unique aura that had, like, sakura flowers flowing out of it. So it's not that crazy compared to what is already in Kenzan. Wait, some do? Really? Shit. See you in the next Yakuza 2 batting stream. I'll see you in the next one. This is as bad as the last Major League one in Yakuza 1. It is. That's something I'm curious to see with Ishin Kiwami a lot, though. And I'm feeling like I already know. At least I have a feeling, a gut feeling about how I will feel about this change. But the card system being like an active part of the entire game's combat is a change that I'm very interested to see. I'm kind of getting the gut feeling that I'm not gonna like it very much. The way, because from what I understand, you just get to set like one card to each style that like only affects that style and is only usable with it. I think that's how that works from what I understood. I think he meant to say Kenzan Kiwami. But I have a feeling I'm not gonna love that. I found I only used it in the dungeon. Do you not have like the auto use setting normally in Ishin? Or sorry, in Ishin Kiwami? Because in the original Ishin, you can just set them to like automatically use their ability at the time where it will be like appropriate to. So like the guys that heal you will just automatically activate the healing ability once you hit low health. And basically just refill your health up. Same here. Did they not just have the auto use setting in there? Or maybe did people just not use it? Because to be honest, the way that they word it, it made it not sound super useful. But I tried it just to see if it was. It's not automatic. Oh. Like because in the original, they have they ask you straight up. They're like, do you want the cards to automatically be used? Or do you just want to manually activate them? And I figured that I was going to try the automatic and not love it and switch it off. But then I realized that it was literally, it would use it at the appropriate time. Can't remember. Interesting. I wonder if they took that out then. Because honestly, I don't know why I would ever actively use it in the original Ishin. And yes, I actually lost all my money on the batting cages. Holy fuck. He's a pro. I'm a pro at hitting balls with bats. I really am. To be fair, I've been yapping my ass off today. Like, I've barely even been drinking my water. I've been yapping so hard. How do you feel about HGG? What is HGG? What is that? Which is fine. It's fine in terms of the stream, probably. But I feel like I absolutely could have finished this already had I not been yapping so hard. That one gets me every fucking time. Fist of the North Star. Got it. I feel like I am gonna love it. I feel like I'm gonna like that one. I like Fist of the North Star. And I like Yakuza games, and I feel like a Fist of the North Star game in the format of a Yakuza game, like with the same, or I guess a similar like balance of tone, is just gonna be awesome. I bet you the only thing I won't love is that I'll need to record it off of PS4 again. It's made in Kiwami engine? Wait, like Yakuza 5 engine? What do you mean Kiwami engine? Did they overhaul the engine for Kiwami 1? By the way, anyone see that trailer for the new Fist of the North Star animation where they're doing like CGI for it? Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't know that. Don't remind me. Dude, it looked so bad. Like, it looked fine until the combat scenes started. Like, the fight scenes. And that's when I was just like, oh, what am I looking at? It looked fine until the fight scenes in the trailer. And I was just like, and those are the ones that made it into the trailer. Like, those are the ones that they thought were good. It was so bad. I told Falst we're gonna have to watch Fist of the North Star before I get to the game. It's for work. Me rewatching Fist of the North Star. It's important stuff for work. Obviously. That's the problem with current anime in my mind, or at least some of it. What, CGI? Like low budget CGI animation? Research purposes? I mean, I don't have to, because I've seen it before, but I could use a refresher. Oh my god, what am I doing? Oh, does it need a remake? Yeah. Yeah, that's a valid question. Does Fist of the North Star need a remake? No. Could a remake of Fist of the North Star be great? Sure. Definitely. But I feel like if you're gonna remake something like that, you have to do it in a way where it at least emulates that older style more. Like, doing it with CGI... I don't know who made that decision. That's my thing. To reach more of an audience? Maybe. Because not even just like accessibility, but even just to bring it to a younger audience who hasn't seen it. I could see that. Because even like I've seen Fist of the North Star, but I only watched it because I found out that Dragon Ball was very heavily inspired by it. So I was like, oh, okay, I want to see like what inspired Toriyama to take that direction with Dragon Ball, right? Because I'm such a big Dragon Ball nerd. I fuck with that shit heavily. It's literally why I watched Fist of the North Star to begin with, and I loved it. It's great. It's a really, like, it's probably one of my favorite animes that I've watched. It's not like in my top 3, but it's definitely up there. Granted, I don't know what my number 3 would be. Oh my god, number 12 every time. Because, what's it? I know that Dragon Ball is my favorite I've ever watched. Come at me. And then, Cowboy Bebop is my number 2. Also goated. I don't know what my number 3 would be, to be totally honest. Maybe Berserk. Maybe. It's up there. That's also up there. I really don't know. I'll stew on it. Anyway. It is about that time. It was, in fact, a whole day of batting cages. Again. Sorry. PS2 batting cages. They're brutal. I've not seen JoJo yet. I need to. Because I know that JoJo was also inspired by Fists of the North Star a lot. So I want to see that too. Plus, I love the art style from what I've seen. Anyway. It is about that time. So, I gotta go work on video stuff. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to go ahead and leave a like, follow, sub, whatever, wherever you are. We're doing stuff like this. We're doing other stuff on stream, like... What am I doing tomorrow? Ace Combat tomorrow. We're doing Ace Combat stuff.
Playing so hard to get, baby boy. I'm not. I'm playing Mass Effect.
But we're also doing Metal Gear stuff. And we're also doing Resident Evil stuff. And there are those new things coming out soon. Those remasters of like Gears of War and Metal Gear Solid 3. And we're playing those. We're doing a lot of stuff. Come back for any of it. Also, if you enjoyed, leave a like. Algorithm helps out, boosts the VOD. Appreciate it. Thank you if you've done so already. Thank you if you're about to do so. If you're looking for links to anything else outside of Twitch or YouTube to engage with the community, check out links in the description, like Twitter, Discord server, whatever. If you're on Twitch, those links are on the channel page. They're in chat commands. You'll be able to find whatever you're looking for. Other than that, though, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all back here next time. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming to the stream. There we go. I almost said going. And goodbye.